The Half-Life series is full of games where you kind of forget about some of your weapons. Even with Half-Life 2's more carefully pruned weapon selection, most of the time you're either using one of these two, or killing soldiers with random items from the IKEA catalogue. But when you're blasting through soldiers motivated entirely by respite from state-enforced No Nut November, you forget how you started out scrapping in the sewers of City 17 like a rat. So let's see if these ratty weapons can carry you all the way to taking down the big cheese. Before we start, this video is sponsored by my girlfriend. There's no link in the description because I don't have one. We begin in a classic dystopia for Americans, a walkable city. Where am I supposed to drive my Ford F-150? There aren't even any toddlers for me to run over. Honestly though, I would live in these apartments. It's just like living in Bankstown, but without the, oh there they are! Unfortunately, the immersion was broken when Alex didn't turn out to be a Lebanese baddie. I didn't feel too bad about this in the moment, but it was clearly affecting me.
Well, go ahead.
I'm having fun. I'm taking this thing with me. Due to my mental state, my local FBI agent saw fit to arm me and tell me to bash cops. With a few quick whacks, I had my pistol too. Since this section is designed to be cleared with only these two anyway, let's just go over what we have. The Crowbar is an awkward melee weapon with a microscopic attack range, best used for non-consensual home renovation and hunting wild game. It's also going to be the only weapon that makes sense for manhacks, since the pistol is really only good on fleshy targets. Even headshotting, basic enemies take a couple rounds to go down, and you've only got 168 of those. This meant that the most cost-effective way of playing would be to lean hard on explosive barrels, rather than actually shooting people. Most of the sewers was really easy, comfortably making my way to the airport. At this point, the challenge began to pick up as the game begins to throw dozens of cops at you without providing any more pistol ammo. I'm generally being saved by the abundant supply crates, but I had to be more precise and play more passively to get through the dungeons next to the river. The airboat gun gives me a good chance to discuss one of the caveats of a challenge like this. Sections of this game require you to use certain weapons to progress. The first ones all have to deal with killing the helicopter, but there are many other areas where I'll have to use other weapons to progress the game. Stand there? Let's kill that helicopter. With that out of the way, I made a quick trip to see Bill before heading off. This section of the game in particular was quite challenging due to my fear of women. This is another one of those sections where I'm forced to use the gravity gun, so let's just fast forward to the actual challenge. Doing Ravenholm without the gravity gun makes everything much worse, and with the minimal supplies, mainly focused on the SMG and shotgun, I needed to conserve ammo by crowbarring the zombies. 2 hits, pull back, and smack them 3 more times to finish them off. Zombies' slow speed and well-programmed AI made this fairly consistent, but I found myself having to use the traps that I'd never really touched in previous playthroughs. What little ammo I did use was spent on all the ways of exposing zombies to the Maillard reaction. Google Foods videos have a really different vibe these days. But then, my strategy started to break down a bit. Fast zombies have no trouble simply running a high-speed organ transplanting operation on your chest cavity, and poison zombies consider 9mm rounds to be diet supplements. In groups, these two could drain my ammo like that one video Jordan Peterson posted on his Twitter. Not even halfway to Father Grigory's ski lift, I was already cripplingly low on bullets, leading to comedy shit like this being my only option. I'm very glad that I was playing on normal. Amazingly, the fast zombie gutter climbing gave me loads of free hits on them. It looked ridiculous, but at least I didn't need my pistol. Oh yeah, I have to crowbar the ending too. Grigory's reduced shotgun reloads were not helping, but at least when he landed his shots they were helpful. No way. For long-time viewers, Grigory is now 2 for 2 in getting me killed in challenge runs. Goodbye and good riddance. The mines finally gave me that good stuff, but the next boxes were less than helpful. Oh, okay, cool. Thanks for the raw ammo. Thanks for the piles of shotguns. I've bugged the game. I don't know, it doesn't know what to give me. I was still quite uncomfortable with using much of my ammo, which was about to be a problem. Ah! I have to kill all of these guys? I'll smash your fucking head in, dog. Night out in Sydney. Time for Half-Life 2 Phase 2. Eli is really bad at staying out of trouble. Much like the airboat, I didn't consider using the car to be breaking the rules. I have no idea how you're supposed to even get through this chapter in the car without killing a single antlion. Still, with a mind for ammo conservation, I got creative with dealing with the isolated pockets of Combine occupying coastal properties that could have been given to poor, starving landlords. I wasn't maximally efficient, but now that my pistol reserves were comfortably above 100, I felt I could be a bit more reckless. This chapter introduces the stronger Combine soldiers as well as the firstborn sons of Satan himself.
Oh my god, it's...
Even on this easier difficulty, each of them took about half a mag to go down. This led to my main strategy, aggravated assault with a motor vehicle occasioning grievous bodily harm. It couldn't be my only method, and there were several sections where I was forced to rocket down these bug helicopter things, but it turns out that using your car as a weapon is a great way of avoiding a DUI. It also turns out the car can just ram things out of the way, so I didn't even need the gravity gun. These little fights in all the homes in this chapter is some of the best combat in the whole game, especially for this challenge. You don't often think about cover like this in the game, especially after you get the gravity gun, but it's really fun to be able to dodge and weave to clear out enemies. The bridge section was, as usual, kind of a slog. Without much in the way of supplies or environmental kills, I used a ton of my pistol ammo grinding through half a dozen soldiers. Then I discovered my greatest enemy. So there's nothing I can do besides use the gravity gun? Yeah, this looks like a forced grav gun use. Oh my god, Gordon Freeman with the steel chair! After another forced rocket launcher use, I spent some time bashing through more cars. This section between the bridge and the lighthouse I have never had any particular memory of, mostly because I think it all starts to get stale. These encounters were slowly starting to chew through my pistol ammo, and I was left with only 22 rounds come the lighthouse fight. By frantically dashing between buildings and trying to bait my allies as much as possible, I actually got out with more than I came in with. Another forced gunship fight later, and it's time for a beach trip.
Stay off the sand. The antlions are edgy right now.
Crawling in my skin. No fucking way. Even with full pistol ammo, the Antlion Queen was still going to be rough. You might think that I could just let the mounted gun do it, but last time I did that, the Vortigaunt was so disgusted by my cowardice he refused to come out and progress the game. Luckily, the abundant explosive barrels in the arena were an ammo-conserving source of big damage, especially for me. That works. The following section was the easiest in the entire game. The 4 Antlion bros that you take into battle will automatically fight any Combine they get close to, and they'll also follow you if you get too far away. These two behaviours combine to render the bug bait completely worthless. You just run at the enemy and the Antlions do the work. Sometimes you do need to clear out the gun placement or two, but this might as well have been an auto-scroller. And then the difficulty spikes. Ah! I ended up entering Nova Prospect with 20 rounds of ammo. Even with the 40 extra shots I found in a box, the pistol's awful accuracy munched through loads of bullets and health as I began to hit the courtyard. The supply crates were much more generous as I moved through, and the Antlions gained the courage to start wiping out enemies that it wasn't worth me shooting. Well, that's annoying. The more restricted space in defensive enemies meant that I couldn't lean on the Antlions as much anymore in here. After refilling my supplies and accidentally performing some sick parkour, I had to fight Antlion Queen number 2. Once again, I used every explosive barrel in the arena, but I had to use a ton of pistol ammo to make up the difference. I now had Antlions to help with the soldiers, but their reluctance to push in forced me to become their meat shield in riskier and riskier situations. And then, they abandoned me to the most difficult room of the whole chapter. Hey, hold on. I have to pause. This is my favourite monologue in the entire game. And you miss most of it because you're busy fucking fighting. Low on health and ammo, I got butchered over and over again before I finally came up with a more creative solution.
Call it that. Is total extinction. Let's not allow it to come to that.
No fucking way. With the Antlions now becoming more of a hindrance, I made my way through the Nova Prospect laundry before destroying the kitchen and dropping down to the next queen fight. I genuinely thought the run might die here. I emptied every shot I had into this damn thing, and I used every barrel, and it wasn't dead. So in between being thrown around this tiny room so the walls could be repainted with my blood, I was told that running the queen into the pillars would do more damage. Lo and behold, it barely worked. With a single shot left and every pillar gone, the queen fell to my crowbar. I was then nearly softlocked by a dumpster. Alex, only barely more useful than an Antlion, arrived to helpfully monologue her way through this part of the prison, except when she was running into the shotgunner's arms like she was meeting a long-distance partner. Our goal now was to chase down a white woman for her tender meat, so Alex had me crawl through vents and fight in 2-foot-wide corridors to progress. This put me in the perfect position for the most boring section of the entire game. I ran ads during this bit. The Combine are mere covered plates at a sushi train, and my sentries are the most gluttonous customers on Earth. Then, you can pick up one of your sentries and have the game play itself for a while. With the exception of one surprisingly extremely difficult parkour challenge, I had no trouble letting my automatic, handheld, unkillable machine gun clean up everything. The big defense section afterwards can be easily cheesed with a single turret and an upturned barrel, so I got to have a nice nap at this point of the challenge. Breaking up the Combine's secret rave location was a nice change of pace as it forced me to actually play the game, but then I got to have another nap as the Combine attack mostly failed to materialize. Once I had appeared in Kleiner's lab, the final push was on. My new, genetically modified and heavily armed antlions were fairly helpful, but the biggest hazard was hopper mines. Without access to the gravity gun, my only option was to bait them into exploding. Why are you standing next to the mines? When they weren't atomizing themselves, my helpful and intelligent freedom fighter friends ensured that they blocked every doorway or route that I wanted to take. And then they kept popping out of the ground in random places.
Since when do I have a full squad? Where did you guys come from?
Generally, this section wasn't too bad. The infinite manhacks in the underpass were annoying, but it's not too hard to deal with. Walking in radioactive goo was a welcome break from hurting humans, but all good things must come to an end, and I was soon back munching on apartment blocks. Oh great, she's back. Though she was mildly more useful this time around, I still ended up having to use most of my ammo while Alex played chicken with hand grenades. This left me at the gate fight with only 10 rounds to hold off dozens of Combine. 28. With 2 shots remaining, I scraped through the gate. Thankfully, Alex was removed from me, leaving me free to just crawl through the sewers, just like old times. Once again, manhacks posed no threat. The biggest problem were the occasional sections where soldiers came at you from above, forcing me to use the little pistol ammo I had left. Physics puzzles were once again the most difficult sections.
Can I peek through here and pick it up? No way. Wow, the puzzle that they designed for the gravity gun. You can do it with a crowbar.
But hey, I enjoyed beating this homeless man to death, and...
Oh, fuck.
Oh god, I remember this bit. For any challenge, I would assume that this is the hardest section of the game. No supplies, no cover, Combine peppering you from half a dozen angles, and an escape route that's pretty much RNG. Your reward?
Dr. Freeman!
Ah, for fuck's sake. This is one of the most linear and arguably easy sections when you're not getting caught on poorly clipped fragments of concrete.
Oh, come on!
Once you've rescued Bornal Chulchester, you and your squad...
I'm hurting, Gordon.
You and your squad... You get to take on the Nexus. This map is hell. Supply crates that just don't, leading to 500 IQ turrets, not enough of anything, and so many soldiers. At one time they might have been useful, your entire squad gets murked off screen and you just have to deal with it. At this point, Bazza got wallbanged. Everything was unraveling. I didn't have enough ammo for any of the fights, I didn't have enough health to tank the rifle rounds. After what seemed like forever repeating this one section, and even cheating the rules of the challenge in a desperate attempt to go any further, I gave up. It's not possible to beat the game like this. But what if it wasn't? Off-stream, I loaded the save and played through the rest of the Nexus with no restrictions. This was extremely cathartic, although still not easy.
Here, have a med kit.
Where were these guys before?
Back into the action. I knew the roof would be rough, and I was still low on pistol ammo. The small squad that I had picked up turned out to be really fragile, leaving me with just one guy that I had to micro to do anything useful with.
Whatever you say.
After several attempts at this weird door, I developed a strategy that finally solved this challenge. I needed to beat off the Combine. It turns out that if you get in a soldier's face, they will usually try to punch you rather than shoot. So, by sprinting up to a soldier and putting myself in a rather compromising position, I could slowly kill Combine soldiers with the power of botched circumcisions. With no crotch left undamaged, I returned to the plaza, allowing the people with actual guns to do all the fighting while I sprinted for a rocket launcher. Once Mr. Morale's big steppers were all gone, I was still completely out and had to play chicken with soldiers' grenades until they were all dead.
I cannot believe that worked.
Renewed and rejuvenated, I turned the corner and got minced by a strider.
Oh my god.
In an alternate timeline, I made it to this empty husk thing and had to fight off the contained power of the Taylor Swift fanbase before rocketing yet another strider. This final map in the city was always rough for me, but I had nearly maxed out my pistol ammo from crates. Combined with my phallic flagellation technique, I generally had little to fear as I fought through this half-obliterated building. Having to wait for the striders to make the rest of this map navigable was far more annoying than anything else, so it was nice to just delete them with more rockets. The horse went down, the final scraps of soldiers received crowbar castrations, and Dog let me into the Citadel. I had done it. At the plot convenience chamber, I said my final goodbyes to the 2 weapons that had led me all this way.
Pistol. Crowbar. You have served me well. Thank you, brave soldiers. Oh, you're kidding me. No way. No way you can get stuck in here.
fool!
Watch out, he's gonna...
No!
This is the easy part.
Don't know what you will unleash.
Did you break the glass?
Yeah. Maybe we still have...
Time, Dr. Freeman.